This is for the leaders, the visionaries, the hope bringers, kindness instigators. This is your place to get loved, poured into, activated, and inspired. Well, good morning. Welcome to Fireside Friday, April 3rd, 2026. Um, I have been receiving a little bit of a gambit this morning, but the first thing that we're going to do, just as a collective, if you will, if you're here, I would love to invite you to close your eyes if you can. And if you're listening in a place to the replay where you can do that, I would love to invite you to just close your eyes and simply breathe into the moment that we're inside of right now. Whatever pace feels good to you, but just take a moment to really breathe into where you find yourself this morning or in whatever time you are listening to this too, if it's not morning for you. Just really breathe into the space. And as you breathe, notice too if there's just anything right now that's going to take you out of being present with what needs to come through this message right now. If there's something weighing on you or pressing on you or on your to-do list, just know that will be there for you still. But right now, in these moments, you came to receive something today. Breathe into it now and allow yourself to have space and time to be here, to be really present with you. Maybe this is the first time this week that you've really had a moment of stillness. Be right here. It's okay too if emotions come forward. That's all right. They're there for you as teachers, as invitations. Hmm. Just linger here in this space a little longer. It may feel good to also wrap your arms around yourself or place your hand over your heart and just be present with what is. I would love to invite you to keep your eyes closed. Mine are still closed as I continue to bring forward whatever is coming through. And right now, and that was like what I was saying, the slowness of this moment is really important. Of slowing down to receive in this moment. I know for many of you, you're in the thick of Easter preparation and plans. That could mean a lot of different things. If you're feeling stressed, this is an invitation right now also to just know that you get to choose how you're going to feel. Overwhelm, stress, all of those things, they don't have to remain. And this is part of that release too, of knowing you'll have everything you need. You've always figured it out or found a way, or a way was provided. That will be true now. For some of you, this is beyond a season. For some of you, the message right now is don't let go of the dream. It may not be unfolding in the way that you thought it would. It may need to take a different track. But what's true about the dream won't change. You're going to continue to bring it forward. Right now, it just feels like you need a break. Yes, that slowness. You need space, time with you. Again, to be with what is, even if that's uncomfortable, even if the things that are being tugged or pulled forward to the front, it's really important that even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's not your favorite thing, even if you don't want to grieve anymore, for some of you, you have been in a season of grief, it's okay. The sadness is okay. And it's just there for you. And it just may need to be felt. There may be nothing that you need to tease any further out of that. It may just be asking for your witness time and attention. And that could look like journaling. It could look like breath work. It could look like meditation. But there is a slowness to it because it deserves relationship with you. It deserves, again, that focused time and allowance. Allowance is a big word for us today, too. To allow what's transpiring in the world, your family, inside of you, to let it stand and to not feel like it's all on your shoulders to figure out. It never has been and it never will be. This isn't all on you. This whole life thing is a collective participation, and you are supported here in this place in your life. Even if it doesn't feel that way, for some of you too, I know that the lack of support in your homes, and for others of you too, for your family of origin, not understanding the path that you're on, not fully getting it, that's okay. Just know that each and every time you continue this journey forward, every time you're choosing to be present with you, that is part of how these ways that you're craving for the world to know more healing and to bring your own healing come forward. The medicine that you want to keep bringing, it's really important right now that you give your medicine back to you. And I get the impression too, this season won't be long for most of you. This is just a pause because I know there's another group of you, and there's another group because it keeps coming forward too that you're ready. You're ready to move. You're ready for spring. You're ready for the momentum. And even now, just knowing that the slowness and the pause and the stillness with yourself, that is going to remain important even as you seek that momentum and even as you continue forward. because this truly is a marathon and it's not a sprint. And a lot of times, too, that go, 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 that pressure of get it, get it, get it, get it, go, 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 race, 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 that is actually not our own energy. A lot of that is conditioned around us. And it doesn't mean that you don't need to take action when you feel that aligned thing. It just means that sometimes the aligned action is stillness and it doesn't look like progress in quotes in the way that we've been trained or taught to believe that progress looks like. And for a lot of us too, that progress and that lens does come from patriarchy, from the output, from the very physical things we can touch and see with our eyes. Yet all of you here listening in this space know that there is something much more profound. It's not that the physical is not important, but that everything before it was physical was energy. You all are here, energy healers, lovers, bringers of this light. You know that transcendence often is not something you can touch, it is felt. And that is part of how we do this too, is in the slowing down. If it's felt good to keep your eyes closed and just be in this moment with a little less stimulus, I think you should continue doing that. If you're ready to open your eyes and you're like, please go ahead, it's there for you. The other thing that came forward too is just a reminder that many of you have come out or still might be inside of some systems, corporate systems that you are playing a role in. And like you do, you consider yourself a vital function of that. It's part of your integrity. It's part of how you bring your energy forward everywhere you are. You're intentional with it. You give it all you have, and then some. And I really like this is what I wrote down earlier is just a reminder that all the ways that you want to bring that goodness that you are into those spaces is great. But for a lot of them, just know that the amount of energy and intention you are bringing there, if you were to fall off the face of the earth tomorrow, they would replace you. The machine will keep going. And I don't say that as a way to detract. I say it as a way to lessen some of the responsibility that you may feel inside of the system you actually don't even really want to be in the first place. Because a lot of us are still um, in different spaces and seasons where we're trying to fund life, we're trying to pay for our lives. And a lot of the models that we've been handed have looked like sacrifice of what we actually want to be doing in order to be practical to make the thing go. And I really feel like there's a huge invitation to keep following your internal knowing, even if it means rationally it looks crazy on paper, even if it means rejecting the offer, even if it means going, oh, I know that that would be in my rational mind. I can see how that would play out. I can see how the contract is written. I can see all of these things. But my spirit and my soul go, oh, we can do it. We really don't want to. As much as you can, flip those things. Keep following the expansive inner knowing, the thing you can't touch and don't have physical handholds for, but you keep seeking evidence of. Keep following that because the world that all of us, almost all of us, all of you who regularly listen to this, we have these conversations about how we wish we could live in a world that didn't operate on money. I believe that we're headed that direction. I could not begin to give you any kind of timeline on that, but I do know that as we continue to establish and bring forward our gifts and create the world we want to live inside, that also means that we have to break agreement with how things work in the old model. If we keep agreeing to it, if we keep upholding it, it continues. And this is a great example for me is, last week I had a lot of I've been having a lot of release over the whole last month. But something that I didn't expect to happen last week, where I was basically asked to just define where I find myself in my faith, for me to start saying, or to say for the first time, I am not a Christian, and I still have some of my own processing around that. For me to say it, it felt really scary because, again, as most of you know, that's my background, is that evangelical Southern Baptist upbringing. And for me to say I'm not a Christian doesn't mean that I don't believe in Jesus and his teachings. I do. And following that led me outside the bounds of what most people hold for that to look like, at least in the area that I live, and a lot of people who I know from my past. But the really beautiful thing that's happened, because I said the truth, because I said it out loud, because I wrote it, the old doesn't have as much power. It doesn't cling to me in ways that I couldn't even see, was like, ugh, all over me. And there's a lot of freedom also in recognizing and knowing that as I went, no, that allowed for my yes to start really going, okay, now we can come forward. Now we can stop holding all the space for all the things and move toward the thing that your soul is going, yes, 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 toward. And a lot of that came down to fear of how I would be met, fear of being misunderstood, all of those things. And this really is a breaking of lineage and pattern for me, and sitting in the fullness of that. A lot of you here in this space are also here to change the paradigm of your family line. Um, and that is big, important work that requires really small, intentional steps, like slowing down. A lot of times, too, what we have been shown looks like making the moves, being successful. What we interpret, or what we have been shown, looks like, the utmost. Often, too, was is not, at least in this span and space, what we measure like that by. That it we don't need the external accolades, the stage, the ticker banner, as seen in. Those things are great. They're so awesome. And they're going to be there for you as they are needed. Right now, what it is I feel that we need is that continued belief in the things that we want to bring to the table. And that's going to continue also me not looking around you at people who don't understand what you're doing. Cling tight and be in spaces to people who get it, who want more, who want to create different things, make a new way. That's going to continue to fan the flame, and to be in proximity to people who believe in possibility, who believe in the same kinds of healing that you long to see in the world. Open yourself up to, if that does not feel accessible, if that's not feeling like, I don't know people, I don't know a person. I hope you know a person right here that that would be true for, but also open yourself up to receive that. Ask for it. And that actually leads me to my card today. Today we have the guardian angel. You are not alone. You are not alone. Message, watch for signs and reminders from your angels and loved ones that they are close by. Remember they are working hard to guide you. The guardian angel card shows the white feather that has become known as the guardian angel's business card. Whenever a white feather appears in your life and or this card appears in a reading, it's a message to say your guardian angel and ancestor guides are particularly close at this time and are there to support you with their love. If you have asked for help with a particular situation, know that there is divine intervention in the works. Everyone has a guardian angel who has been with them in all their past lifetimes and will be there in all the lifetimes to come. So know that you are never alone and never will be alone. This card is a huge reminder that there is always help and support available to you. Your guardian angel is with you now and is here to aid you in all of your endeavors. In order to fully receive their support, first ask for it, then surrender to the process. Know that whatever unfolds will be there for your highest good. And sometimes our highest good comes in ways we didn't expect. And again, it doesn't look the way we thought it would. Sometimes our highest good comes from a lot of contraction and pain and transition. And isn't that just like spring to take something that took all winter to break down, to rest? And to allow the seeds to come forward to foster a new kind of life. Just know too that you are always, always at the seat of interpretation of your story. And if at any time you find that you are living out a story or the narrator just sucks, our own internal mental chatter, we can change that. We can choose to be on a different frequency, to change the channel that we are attuning to. And right now, it's really important that you stay close to the voices who call you forward, who help you see more of the potential that you crave. Because again, a lot of things that are going on in the world right now, they are big, they are heavy. Um, and you know what? They always have been. I have found a lot of comfort in the zooming out of as much as we can be in our life and go, this is serious. This is game time. I really feel like it takes a little pressure off to go, and I'm a participant here. I get to participate. It's not all on my shoulders. I know for a lot of you too in your homes, that's the way it feels. You don't have a lot of support, a lot of belief in the things or understanding that you want to bring to the table, or things that you're shifting to and growing toward. And that's okay. Because again, as I mentioned, a lot of you here are cycle breakers, meaning that well, not should, a lot of us are inside of situations in different ways that we will have to choose to break out of or just move away from. And that's okay too. Every single time that we feel like we have to pivot, I don't know if you all have seen that Friends episode, pivot. I said that in a text last week. My first part of 2026, that's kind of, I felt like it was like a pivot. We got and pivot. Just because things didn't go the way that I was anticipating or thought that they would. Hello. Often they don't transpire in the way that I think they will, as far as how things get there. I may have a sense about how they're going to wind up. I mean, even when I was making plans for the first 3 months, I knew. I thought to myself, none of my plans are going to work out. I made them anyway, and they didn't work out in the way that I thought, like plans to meet up or plans to do specific things. And actually, if I had been honest with myself, one of the reasons I made the plans anyway is because I didn't want to tell people I can't do things till April. That felt weird. I'm like, you're not that busy. But internally, right, I've been very busy. And for a lot of things too, it didn't even just come down to me and my own schedule. It came down to just the parameter of how things flowed or went. And I actually was relieved when a lot of those plans didn't work out. And so that goes back to also just honoring the inner knowings that we do have, the things that we feel and intuit. A lot of you too here have just so many um, intuitive gifts that you can feel into, and that instinct of yours is serving you. And even when it feels opposite, even when it feels like that's wild, what would happen if I did that thing? Um, because now too, more than ever, I feel like we are craving that vibrant life and leadership that feels nourishing, soul restorative, that does call to us, that expands us. And all of you here are beacons and bearers of a torch that looks like that in your energy. You are. But again, to continue carrying that beacon forward, it also does require space and proximity to just be, even when we're in that slowness and it's not the most fun. It's not the most fun feeling. The other thing, too, I really feel like is important is to come back to the question, like, what am I yearning for in this moment? I don't feel like the season is something we can ask at this time. We don't have the capacity. Most of us don't have the capacity right now to hold the space for the season. But what about the moment that we're inside of? What am I craving? What do I need? I keep putting my hands here too on my trunk, on my internal space, but like that heart space, really attuning to that. What am I craving? What wants to come forward? What is asking for my attention? And again, even when our logical minds go, I'm craving to sit next to the lake, but I have all these things on my list. The list will still be there. Go to the lake, be in proximity to the things that you need in order to continue carry your torch forward. That's the thing. The other thing that I've really been leaning into in my lineage this week is how much so many of the people in my family who have wanted to love people really well, we're trying to do things out of intellect a lot of the times, and then also programming and their role. I must do this. I need to be dutiful to this thing. This is how we make it go. But most of that was old programming, the conditioning, and then also from that lens of like doing more or being active, being seen doing something. The permission to slow down, to be present with what is, was often neglected, is often neglected by many of the people in my family and in our culture because it's like there's always a fire. Let's run to the fire and save the fire. But we're worn out from putting out fires. Someone's got the fire today. It's not your job to run towards it. You get to be with your own flames, present with what is, asking what you need. What am I yearning for in this moment? Give it to yourself. Be a good boss, leader, and teacher to yourself and listen. Give yourself space, proximity, and time. And then do those zany cookie things that don't make sense on a rational level and see what happens. Because the way that you crave to also live in the world in synchronicity and magic and in wonderment, those are going to be there no matter the path that you choose. They're always there for us. But I think that we start seeing it more when we follow those things that are like, that's wild. I don't see how that gets me to the end of the list. That feels like another thing that's going to deviate. But how often to, or just test this, deviate away from the list, give yourself the space and permission to do that thing, to take that rest, and see how you feel coming back to the list. What happens then as you move the needle forward? I was having a conversation yesterday, and she said, I've got all of these things I need to figure out, and I don't know what I'm going to do for money. My dream doesn't feel like it's going to happen. just a lot of grief that's coming up. And she's like, I can't get myself to move. I can't take any action, and it doesn't make any sense. And again, that is the space that a lot of us have been in or are in right now. It doesn't have to mean that you are in heavy grief or uncertainty, but there is a heaviness that's happening right now. And I do believe that the way that we move through it is by honoring it, giving it space, proximity, and relationship, and listening to ourselves, to making space and time for that to be important, for that to also take our time, so that when we come to the list, when we come to the work, when we move towards the things that we want to create and imbue the world within, that we will bring that magic that we are. Not depleted, because again, this is your experience. I think I started to say that earlier. So much of my line and my lineage has been so focused on taking care of others, um, that I don't know how they were able to actually really enjoy and take pleasure in their life. Yes, there is pleasure in serving other people, but I wonder what would happen if they were allowed to let their own gaze fall upon themselves first. How might that have also moved or transitioned or moved the needle in ways that we couldn't predict? We don't know. And honestly, I don't know. These are also my interpretations, right? I'm not inside of their journey. I'm inside my own. So I just get to take responsibility at this juncture for how I'm going to move forward with what I feel like I've received, with the messages I feel like I'm getting, and then also stewarding like these lives that we're inside of. Yes, we have all of these things we want to bring to the world. We are a part of that. What am I craving in this moment? Give yourself that. I'll see you next week.